Hi, my name's Penny. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about the books that I'm hoping to read in April. As per usual, there are a lot of books in this list, but given the amount that I've been able to read in the last few months, I'm actually feeling pretty confident about being able to get through these, so let's see how we go, I guess. So I'm going to talk about these by format, and we will start with audiobooks. So there are two that I have out from the library at the moment. The first one is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline that I was hoping to get to last month, but hopefully I'll be able to listen to it mostly this week on my commute, and then next weekend I can go see the movie. Since there's a movie and lots of people have talked about this book, you probably know what it's about, but if you don't, then it basically follows this guy in this dystopian future where the world is kind of shit, but everybody logs on to this online world called the Oasis where they can do whatever they want. The owner of the system is obviously incredibly rich, and when he dies he sets up the scavenger hunt, and whoever wins gets his fortune and control of the Oasis. So I already read the book last year, and I'm basically listening to the audiobook to remind me what the book is like before I go and see the movie so I can compare. What I have heard so far is that the movie is much better than the book in that hopefully it gets rid of how annoying the main character is. In terms of just being a bit of a snob around fandoms, but we will see. Then the second audiobook that I have out from the library is called All Our Wrong Todays, and I cannot remember the author's name still. It's Elan something beginning with M. I will put a picture here so I don't need to remember it. But basically all I know about this is some kind of guy who gets the ability to travel back in time and change the past. And he does, he makes the world a much better place, but then some parts in his own life are kind of crap now, so he's trying to go back and get his life with his significant other back to normal or something. I don't really know much about it, to be honest, but I heard it had time travel and I heard it was good. So fingers crossed. If I do get time for more audiobooks, which I kind of expect that I will keep reading the Saga of Recluce series by L.E. Modesitt Jr., so I will be up to book 11. I really should go in and get it out of the library. I imagine nobody else is reading that, but that's what I thought when I had to wait for book number 9. So, editing me, if you could just right now go on the library site and take that out, that would be great. Okay, so ebooks, I just have a few. The first one is Sightwitch by Susan Dennard, which is like a novella between the second and third books in the series, the third one not being out yet. I'm about halfway through this. It's not that long. I should be able to finish it really soon. It's not going that well for me because I've kind of forgotten most of what happened in Truthwitch and Winwitch, and this does somewhat relate to some characters, like side characters in that, but I've forgotten about the side characters. I only really remember the main characters. So it's kind of enjoyable, more actually than the main books, but anyway, we'll see. I'm going to read that. It should be quick. So the next book that I've got out of the library in ebook form is Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. So Sasha is a well-known booktuber. I did, when they put this out a long time ago, as like they were going to do it as a serial, I did read the first piece of it, and I did think it was okay. So I've heard a lot of conflicting stuff about it, and I basically just decided I couldn't wait to make my own opinion, so I'm going to read it and see what I think. It's a debut novel, so we'll see. Space pirates, basically, is the summary. I like pirates, I like space, sure, why not? Then the last one that I kind of want to get to is Playing for the Gods, which is the 5th book in the Touchstone series. So if you watch my wrap-up, you'll know I'm trying to get this series finished. But I don't really know whether anything's happening, despite having read 4 books in the series. Nothing much has happened yet. It follows this troupe of theatre performers who use magic in their theatre performances in a world where this is kind of the norm. There's also some political stuff going on, but maybe there's some political stuff going on. Who really knows, but this is the last book in the series, so I'm going to read it, and then I'll be done. I can tick that series off. Okay, so physical books. I have my pile here. The first one that I want to read is Magic Burns by Ilona Andrews. So this is the second book in the Kate Daniels series, which I am doing a reread of in preparation for the 10th book, which comes out at the end of the year. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot of times over the next few months. This series follows a mercenary called Kate Daniels in a world where magic has started to come back, but it comes back in waves, and whenever magic is up, technology no longer works. So the world, because of this, has kind of been quite screwed up. And Kate Daniels is also dealing with some personal magical issues. And she gets quite involved in the shapeshifter clans as well. Technically these are paranormal romances, I guess, but they also tend to be mystery novels where each time something's happening and Kate needs to figure it out. The world building is amazing and I love this series. So last month I read the first book and it has made me so excited for this reread, so I will definitely be getting to this in April. And the next book that I want to read I don't actually have here because I left it in the car when I went on holiday and it's still in the car and the car is not here. Oops. And also I borrowed it from my sister, so let's hope I don't lose it or she's going to be pretty mad. But that is Blood Red by Mercedes Lackey, which is I think the 10th book in the Elemental Masters series. So this series, each book is basically some kind of fairy tale retelling, but it's set in kind of a historical England, Europe type setting around the time of World War II, I believe. Maybe World War I. I don't know. Historical England with these different elemental magicians. Most stories tend to be about somebody coming into their powers, but also a fairy tale retelling. This is another one of those series where I'm just trying to get through it. Sometimes I do enjoy them though, but sometimes they just kind of drag on. You can never tell. But we'll try this one. I don't actually know. Oh, no, I do know. This one is Little Red Riding Hood. So I am quite excited for that. It actually has a pretty cool cover. So, I will put it here. I quite like the little, it's not actually here. I quite like the little wolf symbol that is on the cover. So that's cool. I also have some other books that I borrowed from my sister based on Top 5 Wednesday video, I think. That was last month for Top 5 Children's Books worth a reread as an adult. I asked my sister for recommendations before I made that video, and one of the things she suggested to me was Catwings, which I've never read, but it's by Ursula K. So I'm quite interested. Some kind of cats with wings, children's stories, so I'm going to read these this month. They're really tiny, so they should be really quick. Next thing I also want to get to is Ariel by Sylvia Plath. So I read this in high school and it was some of my favorite poetry. I haven't read much poetry as an adult, so I thought I would like to get back into it, and since I love this as a teenager, I thought it was a good place to start. I've seen some people talking about it recently. I think Roya Reeds was talking about it. Maybe. Anyway, I bought this copy off Book Depository because it was the prettiest copy on there. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. I might try and read some of it aloud even. And then the last physical book that I have to read is Illuminae by Amie, Kaufman and J. Kristoff. So Obsidio is the third book in the series, which recently came out. Lots of people have been raving about the series. I've had this on my shelf for a while, meaning to read it. So I thought maybe I'd actually get to it. I really only bought this book because it was on special sometime last year, and I figured this is the kind of book that you really need to read in physical form since it's all kind of multimedia stuff. To be honest, that's all anyone ever says about this book is the multimedia. No one ever really talks about the plot, although I did hear someone say the other day when they were saying they didn't enjoy it, that it was because it had time travel in it and they don't like time travel. But I like time travel, so that has made me more excited to read this, so I'm going to try and pick it up this month as well. Okay, so that's all the physical books that I want to read, except for graphic novels, which I guess are technically physical books, but it's a different category. The ones that I do have to read this month is Saga, so this is another really popular series on BookTube. I'm somewhat apprehensive about reading it because the graphic novels that I've read that have been raved about on BookTube so far. So Paper Girls being the main one, which is by the same author as Saga. I didn't really enjoy that much. Like, it was okay, but it was not as good as everyone said. So I'm somewhat worried that this won't be anywhere near as good as everyone is saying, and that I'm going to be disappointed. But I guess all I can do is try. I got these out from the library, so if I hate them. I do also have the third book coming, so if that comes as well, I'll read it. And then the third one is the one that had the most holds on it, so I didn't order 4 yet because I figured I'd be really annoyed if 4 came and 3 didn't. So basically, I'll try to get as far through this series as I can this month. I will also repeat what I repeated in my March wrap-up, which is if you have any recommendations for graphic novels that have a little bit more clarity than some of these other ones, more like of a clear plot as well as good art and great characters, I'm not fussy, then please let me know, because I want to read more graphic novels that I enjoy. I love the kind of the format, but there haven't been any that are really stand out for me yet. So help me find some that are right for me. So yeah, those are all the books that I'm hoping to read this month. As I said, I'm feeling somewhat optimistic, which probably means that everything will fall apart and I won't get anything read, because that's how life works, never what you expect. But still, I'm going to have a go. Let me know if you've read any of those books and if you'd like to talk about them at some point down in the comments. Or let me know if there's anything you are planning to read in April that you're especially excited about. I hope that you have a really great reading month, and I will see you next time.